Alright, so I'm going to give you just a little bit of an introduction. So basically what I've already done is drawn the 5 lines that we see on the staff. And this is for any clef. You're going to see treble clef and bass clef, and for both of those there's going to be 5 lines. So for a treble clef, you go to the second line here, and you're going to draw a little circle around it, kind of like this, and then you're going to go up and then straight down. And it doesn't have to look super fancy, but basically what you want is like a little round circle around this second line like that, and then you're going to continue it up and then loop down like that. And you can find pictures online that show you what it looks like. But this is the treble clef, okay, and they call this the G clef, and let me show you why. So you're going to need to know these pitches, so I would suggest that you memorize the pitches I'm about to show you here, okay? Each of these lines has a letter assigned to them. So here we have E, then G, B, D, and F. If you look here and you're wondering, how did I get that? Okay, here we have middle C, alright? Then if you look, let's look at the alphabet for a second. Okay, so obviously if I'm going on a line, I'm skipping here, right? So if I start on C, I'm going to skip D and go to E, then I'm going to skip F and go to G, and it continues on like that. The musical alphabet only goes from A to G, and then it restarts back to A, like that, okay? And so if you think about it now, if you know these lines, we can see what the spaces are. So after E comes F, after G comes A, then we're back at the start, so that's why B comes next. Then we have C, D, E, and F. So this is really what you need to memorize, because you need to know what notes are what for your homework. So, for example, if I put a whole note here, you should know that that is A, because this is the space where A is, okay? So to remember this for lines, you could remember every good boy does fine, okay? Or whatever mnemonic device you want to do. And then for spaces, it's face. I should do capital. Like that. Okay, so that's basically the treble clef. Now we have a different clef, which is the bass clef. Usually the treble clef is for higher pitches, and the bass clef is for lower pitches. Typically women sing in the treble clef and men sing in the bass clef. So the bass clef is a little bit easier to make. It kind of looks like an ear almost. So you start at this line here, which would be the 4th line, and you go down like that, and then you have 2 dots like that. Okay, this clef is also called the F clef. I'll show you why. So here what I like to think about is the spaces first. So I think of it as ACEG. So A, C, E, G, okay? And then the lines fill in like we did before. So if this is A, you go the letter next to that to get the line, which would be B, and then you do C and D, E, F, G. And then we start over at A on this line. So knowing that this is A, and we have to go backwards in the alphabet to get this line, it should be G. That line should be G. Okay, so it's called the F clef because these two dots are on either side of the F line. Right? So I would memorize the treble and the bass clef letter names of each line and space. And that's really going to help you to get to have enough time on your homework. Alright, so now that we've learned lines and spaces, I want to review some meter things, and I think I'm going to do that in the next video. But basically, what you should know is that you need to look at the notes and look at the duration of a note, which is going to be how long a note is. So how long a note is being played would be the duration. It has to do with rhythm. You also want to know about pitch. So as I was talking, the treble clef is going to have higher pitch. The bass clef is going to have lower pitch. And you want to know about timbre. And all of these vocabulary words are in the notes that I have given you. Timbre is basically talking about the color of the sound. So these are the things that you should know for your homework.